quite the return of the Mac, but your favorite redhead will have to do. Lower AB, just kind of getting into it, feeling stuff and things, and we're in a interesting spot, to put it mildly. You know, a lot of recent self-discovery. Things have been getting lightly self-discovered, so we're just kind of going through the motions and feeling what we're feeling. Main thing today is possibly hitting some lower body PRs of sorts, which not probably the best idea. I'm behind a pole because I had an upper day yesterday. Food has not been great. Eating has not been great. I just kind of feel like poop, and things just hurt a lot. But, you know, PRs are a thing we'd like to hit. Why not go for them? So, yeah, we'll hit some lower PRs today. Screw it. So we're going to start off with deadlift first, and then we'll see what we can do for squat variations and things. So, yeehaw. I had to set something up for this. Better way to do this than starting off with just the bar. Alright. I gotta remember how to do this stuff actually. It's been a while since I've done like a conventional. I'm like barely in frame. Okay. Alrighty. I remember to save the jams for when I actually go for the actual attempts, but for now, it is what it is. Alright. Man, I've been thinking about actually doing powerlifting for a second now. Now, why is that? You know, bodybuilding, powerlifting pipeline, usually it's kind of the opposite. I don't know, just been disillusioned with bodybuilding. Want to do other things coming in the form of power. Well, I don't know. Okay, I don't want to say that because I like a lot of things will come from bodybuilding still, but I perceive different things. And I don't necessarily want to do powerlifting because it's better, just it's different, you know. And I don't know. I want to kind of reconnect with my lifting roots a little bit to understand like why it is I do what I do, which probably seems silly. Like I'm just here to lift stuff and looks slightly okay in a mirror. That's kind of like the blatant, what I got going on kind of thing right now. But there's more to me than that. Okay. God. It's kind of hard having had done SLDs and RDLs for so long because now it's like I gotta unlearn them and actually go about doing this thing. Yeah, sumo? No. Honestly, the goal today just to hit 4 plates and be happy with myself, as opposed to not hitting 4 plates and being upset, And now, head's out of frame again, whatever. Just jumping to 3, like it was in question if I could ever, if I could do 2. Here we go. This should be lightweight. I can SLD out this stuff. All right, nice. Golly me, my arm's gonna hurt, but I guess it comes with the territory. So, at least one. At least one with this sucker, and then possibly go up to what, 435? Something like that, maybe? Just gotta be calm, collected, and good. And actually, real quick, let's see. Are straps allowed? Do they count? Because I want to compete in like raw powerlifting, whatever that's called. Raw powerlifting. Use straps. Alrighty, so we are screwed, apparently. in the raw category. Yeah. No grippers, no grips. And admittedly, let's see, I probably use this whole powerlifting, possible powerlifting, we're not quite confirmed yet, episode as an excuse to get some cool gear, fun belts, other things of that nature. But for now, let's get one of this, and then we will try jumping up a little bit more. God. That's not moving. I'm embarrassed. I quit. Doing it with straps. He's like, my arms are just dead. I'm not sure exactly what I did yesterday. I didn't really do anything out of the ordinary, but like, dumbbell curls. That's what got me. I did just normie dumbbell curls, and that's gonna get me. And I did, higher reps mistakes, and that's okay. Oh, Jesus. Alright, okay. But now what we probably should do also is get some actual bangers up and going. Bat of hell, meatloaf. And this ticked because after a few months of lifting, I got 315. I look good, but at what cost? Got it. I was gonna try to SLDL it. Nope. Yeah. Not the most force production back here. Rough. Maybe do another single. I think we're pushing it. What is it? I'll end up doing an isometric for this at this rate. Oh, that felt good though. My chest hurts though. We're gonna lower the weight. I'm not gonna risk an injury just for the sake of craps and giggles. 405, equipped. Woo. And now for the silly part. Can barely get 405 up. Who's ready to rep 315 for SLDLs? Well, maybe get a little longer. Maybe I'll rant more. But yeah, that was. I feel like every time I go for a new deadlift PR, it just gets worse and worse. Because I remember last time I did one, this crunch, couldn't even get it up. Hey, no pun intended. But we'll get this. And yeah, I guess I've been putting my body through the ringer, honestly, recently, though, all things considered. Between, sleep, food intake, stress, everything that is wrong, that could be going wrong for this stuff is going wrong. So, that squat PR, probably not today. That one I will retract. But anyway. Time for the fun stuff. I'll be back. I need to do some hip stretches. I will eventually have to record my whole stretching session, but it's very silly, so I gotta iron it out. Actually, it would be a bit of a thing. Right now, it's just kind of me doing random stuff. Whew. Yeah. Alrighty. So, plan of action. Go ham. We'll see what happens. This is a really heavy 3 plates on this hack. So, what I'm thinking is, so I've started using knee sleeves or like knee wraps because they help with my knee pain that I kind of deal with, and they do help me move a little bit more weight. So I'm thinking, like 3 feels a little heavy enough, but I'm thinking knee sleeves plus 4. And we just see what happens, probably involving a drop set for the heck of it. And he's like, yeah. Quickly rep it again. Yeah. Oh, maybe we'll do 3 and a 25. Hidden straps, which will look silly, but this is a heavy machine. All right, 335. Well, not 3, it would like be 370 something. So with straps, we'll see what happens. It's whatever. Oh, God. Okay, ow, my knee. Oh, ow, my knee. Fuck. Whew. It don't feel great. Okay. Now, supposed to be a seated hamstring variation, but today we are lying down, which will do the trick. Gosh darn it! Oh man, yeah, my back and spine after all of the little X squats, deadlift things, we're fighting for our lives lately. All right. Oh God. Okay. Heavy. 205. Should be able to do it. Okay. That's not corrected. Right. That was a sucky set. Range of motion also feels kind of poop on here, same with the tension profile. But we gotta do what we do. And yeah, here we go. Let's run it back. Starting a little lighter. Hopefully we'll just get a better overall vibe. Oh, God. Okay. Whew. This is a heavy, freaking hamstring curl. Oh. Fuck it. Okay, we're getting sweaty now. That's a good sign, I think. All right, leg extensions. Leg extension time, and I gotta say, very, very happy given this situation. Not only is the range of motion super adjustable, so you get that sucker to be really stretched out, you could put it far enough back where you actually get the seat back and like do this in a way which it allows you to actively work the rectus femoris a little bit more, because general word of the wise, rectus femoris engagement happens a bit more like the more you are leaned back, you know, the more your hips are kind of forward when you're doing something quad oriented, the more rectus femoris you're going to be doing. So yeah, pretty cool. Of course though, it's either these machines have good range of motion, but they're never heavy enough when they do have that, so we got to gym pin this up a little bit, and that would be awesome. So time to grab maybe a plate. We'll try it. Actually, we're gonna grab 225s and kind of measure upwards. Okay. Whew. Okay, yeah, we might actually need an extra plate because that extra 25 felt like nothing. One thing I'll say about local gyms, or like, you know, the smaller ones, way more personable, like than any other type of gym. It's so wonderful. Just had an awesome conversation with the guy who's like been on this incredible weight loss journey, and like, it's just cool, you know? You don't know people until you ask about their story, and yeah, people become a lot cooler when you do. So do that more. To create more cool people in your life. Oh, God. Oh, golly. We finally figured this whole thing out. We have 3 35s. And that's realistically the most we can do without doing what I would call an accidental drop set, where I put 4 on here and, well, it falls off. Okay. We'll see how this goes. Hopefully at least it's somewhat heavy. It'll do. I can't. I was gonna see if I can move the seat back any farther. Okay, there we go. Okay. Whew, pretty rad. Oh, that was nice. I will say, this definitely feels better on my knee than the hack squat. That sucker hurt real bad. That's also a really stupid heavy hack squat. Usually I can probably get, the most average ones, I get like 5 plates. This one I got 3. Then I got up to 3 and 35 on each side with knee straps. Okay, so calf raises. And also we have hyperextensions. We'll see about that one today. I'm feeling fatigued as heck, plus the powerlifting, my powerlifting PR attempts. I think my back is cooked, so I don't want to, beat a broken horse. So, calf raises. I gotta find a place to do that though. It'll be interesting enough. That's the one thing when it comes to calf raises, like, I sometimes, I'm tempted to even, not do them because I feel like, especially, I'll just do, single leg calf raises. Because it just depends on like how heavy the machines actively feel. If they feel too light, it's just not something say these, it's too light, it's just not something I want to do. All right. God, wow. All right. Ugh, Jesus. Okay, not bad. All right. Oh, jeez. I'm happy there are rungs to them. I was really worried for a second because I'm like, there ain't no way I'm making it back up all the way to the top.
Let me see how heavy it is.
It's interesting. Yes, it feels heavy like when you unrack it, but then when you get going, like it just kind of. The one thing for seated ones also, it's just like very easy to like just to bounce it. So a lot going on. Alrighty.
It feels like a brick.
I know. You're moving them on the upside, so I say we'll take the win there.
Just feels like. I don't know. I like bouncing it.
Yeah.
I don't want to trade cat that much.
Yeah. No, straight up. I'll probably. Yeah, I'd say. So are you done, or you plan on doing one more? Probably with one. All right. Well, with just one, probably.
No, you can do your 10.
Oh no, I was gonna take a longer rest period, so I was wondering if you want them off. Yeah. I say I ended up using it on that one on the leg extension here, but like because of that wide freaking seat adjustment handle, you can only put so much in that bar. You can't put a full 45, so I had to like layer up 335.
Maxed out the hamstring curl is crazy anyway.
Dude, oh God, that hamstring curl threw me for a loop. That thing is hard. Like, it's probably, I think that Preaker one, it's like the hardest like lying one I've ever done.
Yeah.
Because usually, at least like Matrix and some of these other ones, I can get 200 usually pretty easy, but it also just might be a mix. I'm just like, I feel like dog water today.
Is legs like your strong point?
It depends. Well, it depends on if I feel good going into them. Yesterday and like these last couple of days, like eating, sleep, stress, everything's been just absolute dog water. So legs are usually like my biggest kind of struggle, but because one, the days take forever because of all the re-racking, unracking, adjusting, and all that stuff. So we do what we do.
I just like legs is like a little refresher. Well, I don't do that.
No, I mean that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, for me. Well, they're just like the day that's like, okay, here we go. It's like my upper body days, I can push but still feel fine after. My lower body days, I push and I feel like I'm done.
Right,
which
like,
is really.
It's like a couple days like, after you do lower body.
No, exactly. So I'm so happy for my rest day tomorrow.
Doing chest tomorrow, man.
I am. Best of luck to you, man. Pleasure. The finisher. But yeah, don't say stupid, heavy, frickin' fitted calf raise. I don't even know if the brand is this. Like this whole gym can be summarized by this thing is a lot heavier than I thought it would be, especially with the machines. Some of them, but a lot of the other ones, like hack squat, nuts. This one, nuts. Using metal plates for my deadlift attempt, nuts. Even though that one was just more a me thing. Whew, okay. What are we feeling for the song for the final set of the day? Let's randomize it. Let's see what Apple Music wants to put on me today. Okay, Vienna by Billy Joel. Golly, this is not. This isn't looking too good. There we go. Is This Love? Survivor. Banger of a song. Okay. Whew. Oh God! Wow. Poof. Oh God. I was kind of shot myself in the foot. Okay, there we go. Okay, and that's a leg day. That's a pretty good leg day. Oh, ouchie. Alrighty, I am a fair bit ticked off. Gosh darn it, I just recorded a lot of a car talk, and I don't think I'll be able to access the footage. Okay, look, one little rant about my camera. Whenever the battery dies, the recording does not automatically save. Like, it doesn't save the recording and then shut off. It shuts off without saving the recording. That's annoying. So, I gotta kind of start from scratch now, but that's okay. So, Newaygo Fitness, it was a really nice lift today. This leg day always takes forever, and that's why my battery died, because there was so much moving about. Upper days are so much easier because there's not as much weight involved. There's not as much like setting up stuff for days like today. Oh golly me, it's a lot of moving, a lot of finicky stuff and things. But all of that aside, it was good. It was like really solid how things went on the lift. And I sincerely, it was therapeutic. You know, those local like gyms, they're really awesome. And it's really nice, especially when, you know, you can kind of call a gym like, you know, the residential mom and pop place, and they're always fun to work out at. And, you know, going there twice a month typically, it's worth it. You know, the $20 and like the day pass fees. It's fun, and it's always nice because I'm so happy. Today it was really awesome because I've never done a leg day there before. I've only ever happened to be there. I think usually Wednesdays I always end up in Newaygo, which, you know, we'll take, you know, fun upper day thingies, but it was really nice to kind of test out some of their other leg equipment. And good golly, the mix of, I might have mentioned this already, but like some things there, super heavy, when you wouldn't expect them to be, other things not so much. But that aside, it's also kind of a powerlifting gym, which I really think is cool. Like, you go to a gym, you can there's a certain vibe every place has. And admittedly, there's a powerlifter vibe to Newaygo Fitness. And mainly for the fact you hear people talking, and like, I remember this conversation in the locker room. It was really cool. These two guys were like, yeah, you know, going to nationals, this guy's going to nationals, this girl's going to nationals. It's just so, like, cool. These are people who are going out and achieving the things they want to achieve and being absolute beasts. Like, that is awesome. That is really sweet. And just to be in that environment, it's great. And then, like, I talked to, it was only 2 people, but, like, that's 2 more people than I usually talk to at, like, any other gym. So, like, you know, we'll take a win there. And it was just really nice. And it was serene and calm. And yeah, it was nice to have a kind of calmer, just kind of do it day, especially because like I have been very much in my head a lot. I once again, I might have mentioned this in the thing.
I disassociate lightly when I'm like doing these things in the gym, because the main thing on the mind is get the lift done. So anything I say, when I go back and edit stuff, I'm like, oh, I said that, and obviously the stuff I'm like, oh, I said that, I edit out, but it's not really anything much. Okay, but with that, yeah, it was just like, we went in, we did that, and yeah, it was fun. I'm so sick of the fact that I cannot like deadlift 405 raw, but I can SLDL, like what was it, 315 for 10? I'll edit that number and post, just by kind of, yeah, okay. Yeah. If I'm wrong, I'll just kind of throw up the right number, but I'm pretty sure it was 10 reps. And like, that's good stuff. I really was not expecting myself to get that, because like today was a really tiring day. I just felt tired. Sleep was not the greatest, and nutrition has been kind of on the downside, and stress has been up. So a lot of things are kind of going against my body feeling good. Especially yesterday. Oh, golly. I hit a lift with my good old buddy Max. If you've been on the channel, you know the videos. Like, you know Max. Cool, awesome dude. Good God, he's a beast. And like, our workout yesterday, he lifted laps around me. The man is insane. I mean, coaching him is really, it's nice. It's cool because like, he's a guy, he wants to do what he wants to do. And like, my big thing is like, I want to make that dude an IFBB pro. That's the end goal here. And right now we're kind of like playing around with stuff and things and seeing what sticks and what doesn't. And like, we got him broed out with a lot of the things he's doing. It's very meathead-esque because that's what he enjoys doing. And I will, as much as I want people to achieve something, I want them to be happy, okay? Because people, when you are doing what you like, when everything aligns, you will be happy, is what I believe. And like, when you are happy, you'll achieve more than when you are not. Because if I were to be like, okay, we are doing this strict regimen with training and we're not doing this like throwing blah, blah, blah around or blah, 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 he'd be a little bit more ticked and just, you know, he gets a little bit dissatisfied with what he's doing. The lifts don't go as hard and all this other stuff. And like, I cannot blame him, because seeing him lift and be so happy while doing it, I miss that. I have been so, whenever I go to lift nowadays, I have been not into it. Because I recently made the discovery of sorts that like a lot of my entire bodybuilding journey up until this point started with vanity. And it was run by vanity. And there's the whole idea of these, you know, toxic fuel is what we'll call it. If you run on toxic fuel and you run out and, you know, you run out of energy, you run out of steam, not only are you going to be like stopped, it is incredibly hard to refuel. Because when you run out, you realize you were using a toxic fuel, and you now need to find what the right fuel is. You need to find what the appropriate fuel is, and that's where I'm currently at. I need to find where the right fuel is for me, because guess what? I don't have that right now. I need to figure out why it is I want to lift, and this kind of feeling of dissatisfaction. I started writing a Substack article today, because that's a thing I do also. I need to start pumping those out as well, because I feel like it's really good and healthy to kind of journal things and just write and, you know, do things that you don't necessarily like want to do, or just, yeah, writing is good. Writing is healthy. I feel like expression is great. So the thing there being like, I wanted to see like, where did my roots come from? Because my whole weightlifting like journey, it all started like way before I started, you know, my bodybuilding journey. It happened sometime freshman year of high school for me. It was my freshman year of high school, I just said that. Track season. It was like one of the first, second, or third weeks or something. And, you know, we were hitting 1 rep maxes for, you know, strength training and stuff. And I had never really been a strength training guy. I've never been in a weight room. I don't think I've ever touched a barbell or anything up until that point, other than like some at-home dumbbell things, because I just had no need to. Like, growing up, being in high school, middle school, other stuff, I did like thespian, you know, theater type stuff. I did music, and I did distance running. Like, weightlifting, what's the point, you know? So just, I vividly remember it was like a hex bar, you know, just working on like deadlift form, because I never deadlifted. Obviously, you don't want to like, you know, send a kid to go do that without like having them know what to do. And I just remember feeling free. I just remember the weight room being the first place where I wasn't performing for anybody in a sense, because, you know, music, theater, Like, you're performing in the sense of actually performing. You're trying to, send something across that is a good quality product. And then cross country, you are performing in the sense of you're trying to beat the guy that's in front of you. Like, that is it. And obviously, all of these can be more internalized, but because of how I was raised, a lot of things were externalized. Like, there was never, like, be better than the Trenton that the day was before. No. As much as my mom, love her to bits, would be like, just beat yourself. It was never truly about that. And there's always this kind of like pressure to perform well externally. Because if it were only internally, I would not feel the things that I have felt. But we might get to that later. I don't know if I even want to touch on it because that's a whole freaking bucket of worms or can of worms. It's a can of worms. It might be a bucket. It's pretty large. But that aside, toxic fuel, that. Okay, yeah. So I remember, just like I felt free. I wasn't performing for anyone. It was one of the first things I'd really done that was just for me. Because, like, what was weightlifting actively going to do for anything that I was doing? Like, oh, yeah, getting my deadlift up, that was going to really help me increase my 2-mile time. No, it was not going to. Like, that was the beauty of it. It clicked, like, it was not going to be something that really helped me, but it was something I enjoyed doing. And everything I'd really done up until that point, it was to impress somebody. It was, like, it was transactional. Everything about me up to that point was transactional. And a lot of things about me still are, and I'm working on that currently because it's kind of annoying to be that way. But then, time passes, and I eventually, that whole thing, it set the stones for like what would be, who I am now. Like, oh golly me, I can lift, and yeah, I go off to college where I can actively go to a gym whenever I feel and whenever I please. The rec center, and I just full sent it. So pretty much, that article is just kind of talking about where I come from, and yeah, I'm just, it started from a place of internal satisfaction. Like, it was just nice to do something for me. But then I made my hobby my job, in a sense, I turned it from the internal thing I enjoyed to the external thing that I wanted to get praise for, that I wanted to compete well with, that I wanted to be special and different and all things sweet and good. That was a mistake. That wasn't a mistake in the sense that now I have to rebuild what it is I have already built. And it's hard because starting from ground zero is not a great place to be when you've gone up a couple of stories, because that means you got to trek it back up. But this time, you have to rediscover the steps along the way. Because you got to find a whole different stairwell to start climbing. And what are you doing? Okay, there's a tow truck that got maybe a little scared. But yeah, so now we're kind of working on that, and it's nice to write on Substack. It's something I've enjoyed a lot recently. Or like post things. Sometimes I just take papers that I wrote in other classes. I just kind of edit them to be more blog-esque, and yeah, I just kind of post them, and it's just nice. It's fun to put stuff out into the world and like not need praise for it. It's something I'm finding, and I'm trying to do a lot more with my life that isn't as transactional. I think the best way to kind of iron out problems of that nature is to actively put your feet to the fire and do the exact opposite of it. Because he's like, oh, I'll do something for partial credit. No, there is no if, there is no but, there is no trying, there's only do and do notting, okay? So I'd rather do not take credit for things and just do them. Because that is what I like. It does feel nicer. It feels nicer than always trying to chase praise, because the praise doesn't always come. It really doesn't. And yeah, it's a whole ordeal. But we live and we learn and we go about doing the things we want to do. And it'll be nice to kind of rediscover what it is I want to do. And I don't know, let's talk about the whole powerlifting thing, shall we? Because that's something I've been eyeing up. I actually have a call with a guy who is a powerlifting coach. He's actually the same age as me, or around there. And it's cool because he's also a young coach. I'm also a young coach. We've had clients with moderate success go out and do things. And so it's nice. We have a lot of things that are relatable in a lot of ways. And just, I think it'll be nice to possibly possibly go the power building route for a second, just so I can relearn intensity. You know, I obviously, when I train in the gym, I train hard, but there's something about powerlifting that, like, there's more of like a do or die aspect, I feel, to it. Especially, you know, you're doing a squat, you know, depending on if you got bars, depending if you got a spot, you better hope things go well. And especially like, and then bench press, you better hope you get that bar up or have a nice set of kind of arms ready for you. Not arms, but, you know, bars again. So, you know, it'll just kind of be fun. And also, powerlifting, I feel, is a little, it's just less superficial, unless you make it more superficial. Because, you know, it's just something that you do. A lot of power lifters I've met and talked to, like, it's one of those things where it's like, you assume how they are based on their character and just, like, all that good stuff. Like, obviously their numbers mean something, but it's more, I don't know, it's just more about the person than it is the actual results, I feel. Whereas in bodybuilding, holy God, it's a toxic community in the sense that it's like, you don't look good, you aren't belonging here, brother, is like kind of, I guess, the overarching mentality that I've lately discovered. Oh, golly, more or less, or not discovered, but, you know, I'm a part of this whole deal. I'm a part of the community, as one is. Sorry, my tripod, there you go. Tripod rocked a little bit whenever I take turns. I need a better car one that's like, I do have a wider one with a wider base, but any kind of like harder turn, and this sucker is going leaning. Okay. Anyway, but yeah, so, you know, we're gonna take a little step in a different direction for a sense, for just a smidge, you know. Well, it depends. I might just ask for advice because, you know, I could program stuff, and, you know, it'd be kind of cool to self-coach myself to do a powerlifting thing. I don't know if I do a powerlifting prep myself. I definitely probably pay someone to help me out with that one. But, you know, the general training, I'm coaching guys to get pretty big. My coaching guys, I mean, one guy who's really actively bodybuilding. The other guys, you know, a lot of them are cutting. I got a lot of fat loss clients under my belt, which is great because, I mean, that's honestly the big thing a lot of people want. So, go me for, you know, finding the market. But now it's just all a matter of, you know, getting done what it is that just simply needs to get done, which, you know, my current kind of checklist. One, finish a book. I don't know how that anyone knows about this, but I have like 3 started, and now the big thing is I just want to finish one of them because I've started reading more, just in a lot of different senses, and it's fun. Reading is freaking hype and freaking awesome, which, yeah, it's calming. I've started, whenever I do cardio, I have a book in my hands unless it is too dark. And I think it's really cool because, like, you know, I'm sick of looking at my phone, and why, you know, I thought that to myself, and I said, okay, we're not going to do that then, and I just stopped being on my phone as much. Benefit of all, you know, I've deleted Instagram, TikTok. I still have Facebook because Marketplace. I've been looking into buying a walking pad because currently I'm a cool guy. I live at home. I'm moving into an apartment though next fall, which will be pretty rad. But then the thing there being, yeah, we simply just we're gonna get a walking pad so I can like walk in my room opposed to our kind of communal living room treadmill, because that's a big guy, and also it's just like, especially, I always want to do cardio stupid late at night because when I get really sweaty, because I always just kind of make it more intensive than it probably needs to be. Like, you know, I like to shower right after, and when I have to shower, I like to shower, and then I like to go off to bed. I don't really like kind of being awake and sounds stupid. I don't like being awake and clean, but it's just a thing, you know, habits. But with that, I am home. I am home, and I'm ready to do some things, do some stuff, work on a midterm paper, yes, and just work on some other homework assignments. I'm excited. I'm feeling good, and I got a lot of stuff to talk about. Got a lot of things in my head. It's about death and dying, so, you know, community college things are going pretty well on this one class. Whew, I got a C- right now in my social psychology class, just because, like, there aren't a lot of projects and things. It's not like I'm bad. I understand all the topics, but it's just like there's not a lot of points up for grabs. So whenever something goes wrong, like I missed an entire week by accident because I thought the professor was in California, whoopsie. You do what you do. I'm still going to pass it, but yeah, so much for making the dean's list or something like that. I'm just here for a good time. What can I say?